So, a very good afternoon to you, and welcome to round 20 of the SRL Season 7 World Championship. We're gonna race around the Jeddah Street Circuit in Saudi Arabia for the very first time in SRL. And we've got a 25 lap race ahead of us here at the Jeddah Street Circuit. And with this being a new track, of course, added to the F1 2021 game, this is gonna be the inaugural time that we're gonna race around there in SRL. So this is the third different track that we're visiting for the first time this season, after we've also visited Portimao and Imola previously. And Jeddah is a very interesting circuit, of course, very high speed. Probably the slipstreaming is going to be very powerful around here, so I'm actually really excited to see what's going to happen and how the racing is going to be, because I think it is a bit of a mystery for everyone, considering this is the first league race we've had around here. And I think this track does have the potential for some really good racing, especially because I'm expecting it to be difficult to escape for anyone who's got the overspeed, like, for example, the one at the front. Also with the DRS, of course, from lap 3 onwards, it's going to be difficult to actually pull away from someone. And also, being the one behind, even if you're a little bit slower, it's probably going to be slightly easier to keep up with somebody aided on those long straights compared to other tracks where it's more difficult to follow. So, yeah, we'll see how powerful that slipstream effect will be on the start-finish straight, and on the back straight as well, of course. The back straight actually being the longer one of the straights. Of course, it is broken up with a few very fast corners, but they are easily flat out even when behind another car. So I'm expecting it to be difficult for a driver at the front of a group to actually pull away, and I'm expecting it to be slightly easier for the driver behind to be able to follow. But of course, it does also have lots of twisty sections in the middle sector, with lots of corners where maybe drivers will struggle with dirty air following closely behind other cars. But we will see how everything will work out and how the race will unfold. So, one of the big talking points coming into this weekend is that the championship leader and the reigning world champion Jens Randall is actually missing this round because unfortunately he is not fit to drive. He had an operation last week and is still recovering from that, so wasn't able to be present here today. He still has a very healthy lead in the championship, but Logan Aron, who is second in the championship, will need to actually finish inside the top 8 here to keep his championship hopes alive. So there could be this very strange circumstance that Jensen Rando could actually wrap up the championship despite not actually participating. But I think, knowing Jensen Randall, he wouldn't want to win the championship that way. And I think, you know, from a neutral perspective, it would be very weird to see a championship decided in that manner. But I think even from Jensen Randall's perspective, I don't believe he would want Logan Aron to finish outside the top 8 today, because I'm sure that he wants to fight for it and that he wants to try and win it on track. So, you know, of course, usually the earlier is always the better in terms of winning a championship. It's always nice to have it in the pocket, but I'm sure that Jensen wouldn't want to win it in this way. But we'll see what happens. If he would win it today, then of course it would be well deserved because he's been phenomenal this season. But it would be very strange to see the championship decided in that fashion. Hi Sandro, tuning in on the live chat. Of course, Sandro Drulis has had a very good season as well. He is currently 4th in the championship, but he's actually pretty close behind Alexei Kovinami in the series, so he still actually has a chance to finish inside the top 3 this season, which would be a very nice recovery from him. Alexei Kovinami started out the season very well, but he has had a few very unlucky moments and a couple of DNFs as well, so he has dropped quite far behind Jens Randall and Logan Aron. And it looks like we are getting ready to go. So Jensen Rendel leads the way in the championship, but is not present here today. He's leading by 352 points. Oh well, that's the total amount of points, obviously. And Logan Ron is second in the championship on 296. So a 56 point gap between the two of them. And of course, with only 2 rounds remaining after this one, if the gap stays above 50 points, Jensen Rendel would win the championship. Actually 52 points, of course, because there's a maximum of 52 points over the course of 2 races, with the fastest lap of course giving a bonus point. So that's why Logan Ron has to score 4 points today to keep his hopes alive and to postpone Jensen Rendel winning the championship. Max Mulder also tuning in the live chat, as is Niek van Gelder, with a very, very famous opening sentence. So we begin with qualifying, 80 minutes to determine the grid. We do have qualifying bans for Jurem Rustic and Adelino. And also Brian Power, so 3 drivers will not qualify today and will start from the back row of the grid. Well, one of them is going to start from the second to last row because we've got 3 drivers with a qualifying ban. So only 11 will set a lap time in this session, as we see the first cars pull out of the pit lane onto the circuit. Hopefully the audio is alright. If any of the viewers can give me a bit of feedback on the volume of it, I can maybe adjust it. As we see a McLaren and Aston Martin are pulling out of the pits as well. And then we can see Alexei Koivuremi. Of course, his chase for the championship is over, but it's still been a very strong season for him. Niek van Gelder in the number 32 McLaren. He's had quite a decent return to SRL. He has finished in the points quite a few times this season. I believe he actually finished in the top 7 as well in Portimao, where we did have a lot of DNFs, but still it was quite a decent showing from him. And also, we've got a driver returning today, and he's actually replacing myself in the Red Bull, and that's Reese March, aka Riseman. As he runs off there to leave a bit of space there for the drivers coming through. So yeah, great to see Reese March back in SRL. He has participated earlier this season. So he is already actually listed in the championship, but he did leave early on. He is currently 21st in the championship on 8 points. But yeah, he has been out for quite a long while. He has been busy with well, real life racing actually. He's been participating in a karting championship, and he also drove a Porsche Cayman and a former Renault at Trixton. So yeah, he's been busy with real life racing events, also working at a karting track. But it's great to see that he's actually found the time this weekend to come back and to replace myself in the Red Bull. And Reese March certainly a very decorated driver in SRL, and it's great to see him back on track. Ivan Brito in the Williams, the 45. He had a great showing in his home round a couple of races ago in Portimao. So all of the drivers on outlaps at the moment, starting their flying laps. So you can see Max Mulder in the Aston Martin. It was actually karting yesterday in Amsterdam, at a certain track where I was actually working at the time. So yeah, he had some warming up yesterday on a real track, so let's see how he did today. I think he is suffering from some muscle pain here and there, but he should be alright. So we can see Sandro Julius, or Stockard on his outlet. As we see Logan Ron setting the benchmark. (1:27.176) for the Alpine driver. Currently 1.4 seconds clear of Max Mulder in second. Reece March with his first lap in his SRL return 1:29.1, followed by Jesper Lampinen with a 29.4. And Yannick Verbeter now the sixth driver, sorry, to set the lap time with a 31.6. So still quite spread out, but of course this is the starting of the session on a new track, so we've got to take those times with a bit of a pinch of salt. You can see the number 66 AlphaTauri of Jesper Lampinen. We've got yellow flags in sector 3. It might be for the Alfa Romeo driving slowly here. There might have been a bit of an incident, but I can't see anyone or anything at the moment. Can bring out the full track map just to see if I can see something on the track, but it seems to have cleared up now. As Reece March pulls into the pit lane after his first run, currently in 4th place with a 21.1, pretty decent banker time that for him. Yellow flags again in sector 3. That looks like that's just for cars driving slowly to find a bit of clear space, or maybe because they're out of fuel and trying to nurse back to the pit lane. Like we see with the Williams here. Leon Stahl currently in 6th place, 2.3 seconds down. And Alexei Kovanem is still actually yet to set a lap time. He is currently on his out lap. So we'll see if he can actually challenge the time of Logan Ron with a 27.1. Because if there's anyone who can get close to that, it's the Finn. Really strong season for him. Like I said, 3rd place in the championship. He was making a very good run for the title chase, mixing it up with Jensen Randall and Logan Ron. But he has fallen out of contention after a few misfortunes. But certainly one of the quickest drivers of the field is Alexei Koivuniemen. Mercedes have been really strong this season with Jensen Randall and Koivuniemen. And also well above everyone else in the Constructors' Championship is Mercedes. So this long left-hander, turn 13, 3rd gear, trying to hug the inside there and run it wide. And then lining up here for this sort of chicane, right and then left. Spot on there with the track limits. And now we get to this very quick section, turn 22, 23 and 24. Just a short tap of the brake there, shifting down 2 gears to get a turn into the left-hander. Now this straight with a couple of flat-out corners in there. Coming up towards the final corner, the turn 27, braking just before the 50-meter board. We can see Adelino there in front. He can actually aid him here with a bit of slipstream. Perfect line of slipstream here for Alexei Koivuniemen. Coming up to the line. What is the time going to be? He goes into 3rd place with a 27.790. So very decent lap for the Finnish driver. Also Manuelito aka Niek van Gelder, has managed to actually put himself in between Logan Ron and Alexei Kovenemi with a 1:27.5, so only 4 tenths behind the professional pole sitter Logan Ron. Pick up Dion Staal. Currently on his out lap as well. It looks like everybody is either on an out lap or in the pit lane at the moment, as I presume Alexei Kovenemi is currently on an in lap, considering he just put in a time. And also Dion Stahl's teammate Stenodoulis has just come out of the pit lane as well to start his middle run. And he is followed by Alexei Kovenemi. But I expect Alexei to actually pull into the pit lane. We'll follow Stenodoulis for a lap here. Onto the main straight. Up towards turn 1. Trying to get it all the way up towards the right hand side to break down for the first corner, breaking just after the 100 meter board. Running right on the exit here of turn 2. Now into turn 4, left and then right. He cut the corner there a little bit, but looks like he didn't actually lose him with lap time, so you can abuse the track limits there slightly. It's a very flowing bit. It's quite a technical section. It's difficult to really nail it and set up the car perfectly, and it looks like he did actually cancel his lap time because he has backed out of it. Max Mulder here, also on out lap. He just went past an hour from out there. We'll see what he can do. He is also positioned very nicely with a 28.5 in 4th position at the moment. And you can see all the drivers here checking up to slow down and create a bit of space in front of them. Let's follow Max Mulder there. Let's see if we can improve on that 128.5. Into turn 1. Yellow flag sector 2, that was for Ferrari going slowly. Very nicely through the first chicane there. Turn 4, left. Oh, almost got in the corner as well, and then right. And left again. Looks to be very tidy through there. Really maximizing the use of the curbs and the track limits. Into turn 13, there's really flowing left, and the 3rd gear to get the nose to turn, and then up to 4th again to short shift and minimize the wheels, but you can see there the back end and the rear wheels on the limit of grip almost kicking out. Into this right-hander, turn 15 and 16. Carried a lot of speed through there. And now coming up to my personal favorite section of the racetrack. Turn 22 and 23, you can see here just stepping the brake into this left-hander close to the wall, then to the right. He got the corner there, and I think that might have actually cancelled his lap time. But he is still continuing on at the moment, so it might have been fine actually. Up towards the final corner, turn 27, braking just before the 50 meter board. 2nd gear to get the front end to turn in, bit of wheel spin there on the exit, up towards the line, opening the DRS. Let's see if Max Mulder can improve his lap time, running all the way to the left there, and he does actually improve to the 28.079, but doesn't improve in position. But again, very good lap there for the Dutchman. And Wickman in the live chat saying that Nicola Valtresi bottled it. But he is still in 2nd place with the lap he already put in earlier. This is Alexei Kovenemi making his 2nd attempt to improve his position. Also Alexei very well placed with a 27.7, and I think pretty safe for a top 3 because that is a very quick lap time around here. Oh, a bit of a twitch there. You can see the back end there kicking out, and I think he exceeded the track limits there, but that was quite a big moment for Alexei Kovenemi. He was fortunate to save that. He did well to save that, actually, keep it out of the walls, because the walls are very close around this track. There's no corner where you don't get close to the walls. So a mistake can be very costly around there, especially during the race. I wonder if we'll see crashes and safety cars, because, you know, if you make a mistake with the back end stick kicks out and you try to correct it, it is very easy to overcorrect it a little bit and smash it to the wall. So 3.5 minutes remaining in this session. We'll see most of the drivers heading out now to start their final run. And actually, Jeremy Pope, Fly High, is also still in last position without a time. Now, I don't think he has a qualifying ban as far as I know, but he might have. Or it might be a strategic thing, maybe, to just do one lap at the end. To make use out of the track evolution. No problem, Manuelito is my friend, so we're... Wait, I'll get back to you again. Yellow flags at 3. I think we keep seeing yellow flags because drivers are slowing down. But nice to see that you know Nicola Valtraisi, Wickman. And it's certainly been an impressive season for him. Ever since he joined, I think it was Imola, if I remember it correctly. It might have been, he joined somewhere halfway through the season, and ever since he has joined, he has showed that he is very, very quick on this game. I believe he also won the Italian F2 championship on this game, so he's also very rapid in Formula 2 cars, but certainly also in F1 because he has showed some very impressive performances so far this season. Logan Ron here, starting his final run of the session. He still would have enough time with 2 minutes remaining to actually put in 2 flying laps. If he has to, but of course, with those soft tires, you do lose a bit of time already after 1 flying lap, so usually it is most beneficial to just do 1 lap. We can see a Ferrari there, slowly on the infield, but I think that was just to get out of the way. Logan Ron pushing it through this first sector. You can see him using all the way to the track, onto the curves there. Into turn 13, this quick left-hander, also one of my favorite corners on this circuit. You can see him running it all the way up towards the wall there on the exit. A bit of traffic in front of him, the Aston Martin just pulls out of the way in time. Again, perfect down the exit, using the curbing, and now coming up towards turn 22 and 23. Yes, Van Amping has left the session. Look at his left and the right. Oh, he pushed it to the absolute limit there on the track limits. Almost going outside of the white line with 4 wheels. As Reach Mars gets out of the way there, coming up towards the final corner. Turn 27 on the track. You can brake really late into there and throw brake all the way through the corner. Perfect down the exit, all the way up towards the wall next of the final corner, and now trying to take a short line to the line, and he puts in a 1:26.860. Amazing lap there from Logan Ron. Puts himself well clear of Gia Shully in second place. Oh, and the other Mayo's crashed out. I just caught that in time. I didn't see how it happened, but he must have lost the rear end. Maybe he took too much curbs and smashed into the wall. Oh, and look at that! The Haas actually follows him in the exact same place. That is Jeremy Pope. No, it wasn't. That must have been Nicola Valtraisi. It is the number 12. So both drivers are spinning at nearly the exact same moment as he cuts across the inside there, but of course his lap time is already well and truly gone. Wow, bizarre there, Tef. Well, nearly a synchronized crash there. Alexei Koivuniemen, he is in 4th place. Can he do anything about it? Oh, he just managed to get past on that Haas there. That was very dangerous. He was cruising on the racing line. It might have been Nicola Valtraisi's AI, I'm not sure. To the final corner. found the power nicely. Let's see if Alexei Kovenemi can improve his 27.7. Maybe push himself inside the top 3, and he doesn't. Sandro Dulis, what can he do? He's currently in 7th with a 28.8. Just 110 behind Jesper Lampin, who is out of the session. The number 69 Ferrari coming through the final corner. Oh, and he almost hits the wall there on the exit. Almost did it for Verstappen, but he just avoided the wall there. Perfect on the exit, just optimizing all the way to the track up towards the line, and he goes into 6th place with a 28.3. Dion Staal, is he still on the lap? It looks like he is. He is still pushing his Ferrari SF21. And also Reach March in 9th is inside the pit lane. So we just have Yannick Verpeten and Dion Staal, who can maybe still improve the lap time and influence the order in this qualifying session. Turn 13 there. I love the shot there on the exit. You can just see the drivers just running it all the way up to the wall on the right hand side. I mean, this track, I must say, it looks very spectacular to watch it from an outside perspective and to spectate it from the broadcast view, because yeah, it's such a fast street circuit with the walls so close that it certainly makes for a spectacular image. And also to drive it, I mean, this track is really exciting to drive with the hot lap around, because you just have to optimize everything. And I guess it's maybe a little bit similar to Monaco in that way, but the thing is, it's just so much faster. It's such a high-speed circuit, and it feels very rewarding when you can get a really good lap time in. And it must be very intense to actually race other cars here as well on those fast flowing corners and the straights, which are broken up by a few corners as well. It's certainly an exciting track. So these are your official qualifying results. Logan Aron on pole position, 3/10 ahead of Shirley in 2nd place, in front of Nicola Valtresi, Alexei Kovenemi, Max Mulder, Sander Dullis, Dion Staal, Jesper Lampinen, Reece March on his SRL return, Ivan Brito, Yannick Verpeten, Jurem Rusic, Brian Power, and Jeremy Pope in 14th position. So, it is going to be a drive race today, and I've actually never done a league race here myself, so I don't actually know what the strategy is going to be like. But it might be a one-stop. Maybe some drivers doing a split strategy and opting for it too, but we'll see. So getting ready for the formation lap ahead of this 25 lap race. So Logan Aron, he has done everything he could have done so far, getting it in 1st place in qualifying on pole position. And he'll certainly try to win this race to just keep his championship hopes alive, even if he wins, there's still going to be quite a significant margin. Because best case scenario, if he wins and picks up the fastest lap, the gap is going to be 30 points, separating him and Jensen Rendel with 2 rounds to go. So Jensen Rendel is still the favorite to win this championship, even though he is missing this race today. But still, it's never over until it's over. Until the checkered flag drops in Brazil. But having said that, all the best wishes to James Rendo. Of course, he is still recovering from that surgery, and of course, we certainly hope that he's doing alright and that he gets well soon and gets back on track soon. So, yeah, all the best wishes for James Rendo, and wish him a speedy recovery. So Logan Ron in pole position in front of Guillermo Garcia in the Alfa Romeo, and Nicola Valtresi in third place, joined on the second row by Alexei Kovenemi. As we'll get ourselves ready for the start of this race and wait for the drivers to get into the grid slot. "25 laps ahead of us in the inaugural Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in SRL. As the tension builds, SRL makes its debut at the Jeddah Street Circuit, 25 laps ahead of us, and round 20 of the SRL Season 7 World Championship is underway. Good start from Logan Ron. He manages to maintain lead coming into turn 1. Garcia behind him in second place, followed by Nicola Valtresi, battling there with Alexei Kovenemi. Just manages to keep it in front of him in third position. Max Molter there behind him in the Aston Martin, also maintaining fifth. Further back we see Ivan Brito there in 8th position in front of Reese March and Jurgen Rusic, the two Red Bull drivers who also managed to get through the start cleanly. Brian Power following Jesper Lampinen there closely, followed by Yannick Verpeten and Jeremy Pope. Meanwhile, Dion Staal battling here with the Williams of Ivan Brito. And Sander Dooley still following Max Mulder. Here we can see the projected race strategy. So it's looking to be a one-stop for everyone, soft to medium or soft to hard. I suggest soft to medium would be the optimum way. Oh, a spin there! Was that Max Mulder? It was! He's into the wall. Has he been collected? Dion Staal also lost his wing. And also Red Bull there. Oh, Bright Power has been collected by the McLaren of Yannick Verpeten. Massive wrecker on the opening lap. And already 4 drivers who were out of the session. Incredible. Safety car has obviously been deployed. Oh, Reese March got caught up in that as well. That is so unfortunate for him in his Astro return. He only lasted about 15 quarters. I really feel sorry for Reese March. There was so much anticipation and he's out of the session straight away on lap 1. Also really unfortunate for Max Mulder. Brian Power as well. I think Max actually was the cause of that entire wreck. I think he lost the back end. Brian Power, Yannick Verpeten and Reese March with nowhere to go. I mean, you've got to feel sorry for all 4 of them. But especially for those 3, we could do nothing about it. But I didn't get a clear look at that. It was all happened very quickly. I just caught the end of it. And of course we can't spectate cars that are stricken on the track or DNF, so I couldn't really get a clear shot of it, but I think it was Max Mulder who was the caused the incident by, well, spinning out. Of course he could do nothing, he just made a mistake, lost the back end and just got collected by 3 other cars. And Max Mulder also tuning in on live chat. Maybe you can give a quick explanation to what happened. I'm really sorry to you, obviously, but I didn't get a really. I mean, I had a shot of it, but I couldn't clearly see what exactly happened. So, if you can maybe quickly explain or give a bit of an insight to what happened there on the opening lap, because from what I saw, it looked like Max Mulder lost the back end and just got collected by Reese March, Yannick Verpeten and Brian Power. Because of course, with this being such a tight street circuit with walls on either side, you almost have nowhere to go. Whenever there's a wreck, you can't just go left to right or avoid to the cross, whatever. It's either hitting your car or hitting the walls. So both of those usually mean an end your race. So yeah, really unfortunate that. Very, very sad for those 4 who were already out after the first lap. But anyway, we have to move on. The safety car still carries on for one more lap. And unaware of the drama behind him, it's still Logan Ron, who still hasn't put a front wrong. Okay, so Max Mulder is saying he spun his car round and was standing on the racing line, waiting and just hoping that nobody hit him. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing you can do, really. I mean, whenever you spin and are stricken in the middle of the circuit, that's always the best thing, to just stay stationary and not move. Because of course, if you try to like reverse or accelerate to move out of the way, it usually can only confuse other drivers. It's better to just stay still and just hope that they see you in time and avoid you. But of course, being the opening lap with the driver so closely behind, there's not much you can do for, you know, either Max to avoid the crash or to avoid being crashed into, and also those 3 drivers who actually crashed into him. So yeah, a racing incident from what I can see, and I don't think there will be any further action on that. But nonetheless, I mean, Max Mulder has had a really decent season this year. He has had a few unlucky moments, but he is still in 5th place in the championship in front of myself in a pretty isolated position. So he is still pretty safe to actually secure that top 5 position in the final championship standings. So the safety car is going to pull in at the end of this lap, and we'll resume the race again. And Logan Ron will dictate the pace, and he's already doing that right now. All the drivers trying to weave around to warm up the tires. And yeah, that shot there was the entire field. We're only left with 10 drivers. So everybody who is still in this race is secured for points finish. And also Jurem Rusic, avoiding all of that, actually being inside the top 5. The sole Red Bull remaining. His best result so far, 4th place in Spa, Season 4. We're back on the way, green flag, Logan Ron already having a bit of an advantage over Nicola Valtsees in 2nd place, Alexei Kopenemi in 3rd. And Jurem Rusic right behind the Ferrari in front of him, Sander Dulis. Guillermo Garcia in 6th place in front of Ivan Brito and Jeremy Pope. Trying to recover after that bad qualifying. Oh, the Alfa Romeo there making a mistake. That was Garcia. He's lost his front wing. Oh, he's into the ball again. Really poor restart for him. He's going to have to nurse it back into the pit lane. That's unfortunate for Guillermo Garcia. Behind him, the AlphaTauri of Jesper Lampinen overtaking Jeremy Pope on the outside here into the long left-hander, turn 13. And gets the move done cleanly around the outside. So the top 3 already making a bit of a break here. Logan Ron followed by Nicola Valtsees and Alexei Kopenemi. They're already 1.3 seconds clear of Sander Dulis. Ivan Brito there getting overtaken by Jurem Rusic. Apologies, he overtook Jurem Rusic there on the back straight into turn 23 and 24. Oh, a bit of a touch there. Further back, Dion Staal getting through on Jeremy Pope as well. Look at that, Jurem Rusic on the outside there of the final corner, turn 27, Ivan Brito taking a defending line. Marusic holding it on the outside. Oh, they almost kick out the back, and Jurem Rusic almost into the wall as well. He did well to actually not smash to the wall and potentially damage the car in the slipstream again. Up the inside, maybe to turn 1, fakes to the inside, goes to the outside. Brakes late on the outside, turns to the inside here for turn 2, and he gets it done. Up to 5th place for Jumeric. Ivan Brito still hanging it on the outside, nearly side by side as we go to turn 4. Jumeric staying in front, and Guillermo Garcia has crashed out. What has happened to him? Bad luck for Garcia. His day couldn't get any worse. He already was in last place after breaking his front wing, and pushing to make up for that, he must have crashed out somewhere. And it looks to have been in the pit lane. Oh, so he might have just retired. He probably just retired into the pit lane. So that means that we won't see another safety car, which is, I think a good thing, considering we finally have the race going now after that first lap wreck. Dion Stouw here getting through on Ivan Brito up to 7th position. And at the front, Nicolas van Gelder is the only one who is really able to stick with the pace of Logan Aron. Alexei Kovenemi just hanging on by his fingernails at the front. Fast lap for Logan Aron, 1:31.128. You can see Sandro Dulis there in the background as well, just inside the shot of that leading group. And DRS will be enabled from this lap onwards. Dion Stouw now right behind his compatriot, Jurem Rusic. Who is closely following Jesper Lampinen. 6-second gap in front of him to Sandro Dulis. So the top 4 is well and truly ahead now of the rest of the field. On board with Dion Stouw now, following the number 29 Red Bull of Jurem Rusic through this first sector. Great onboard shot into turn 13. This long left-hander. And Dion Stouw will now have the DRS onto the back straight. Of course, only in the back straight leading up towards the final corner. So I think it's just going to stick behind here. As you come to this very quick turn, 22, 23, great shot here from overhead. Dion Stouw trying to optimize the exit here. And Jurem Rusic will likely be a sitting duck there. The DRS opens for Dion Stouw on the outside. And easily gets it done, up into 6th position. Meanwhile, look at this. Nicolas van Gelder on the outside of Logan Aron into turn 1. Oh, he's the inside for turn 2. They almost touched his company, but Logan Aron just about hangs on the outside and maintains the lead. Great racing between those two. And Logan Aron will be desperate to win this race and keep that championship alive. Like I said before, if he wins today and picks up the fast lap, which he currently has, the gap will be 30 points to Jensen Randall, who's absent today. Oh, Nicolas van Gelder, he picked up a 3-second time penalty there, trying to push it on the track limits to keep up with Logan Aron, who's putting up an amazing pace at the front there. He already showed his pace in qualifying. And he is showing why he is fighting for this championship. Sixth-tenth of a second between Logan Aron and Nicolas van Gelder. Van Gelder will have to just stay inside the DRS 1-second window. You can see the drivers pushing it down luck there on the track limits. We saw in qualifying, you can get away by cutting that chicane just a little bit, as long as you stay within the track limits, within 4 wheels. You can see Nicolas van Gelder now going to the outside into the final corner, aided with the DRS. Logan Aron trying to defend it, but van Gelder holds it around the outside. But this time, Logan Aron will have the DRS onto the start-finish straight. Will he be able to retaliate? Yellow flags in sector 3. Logan Aron retaking the lead of the race. Will van Gelder be able to break him? No, he won't. As I think Ivan Brito has made a mistake. He is now dropped back behind Jeremy Pope into 9th position. Yellow flags again in sector 3. And it looks like that is for Ivan Brito, driving slowly. Is he gonna call it today here? Oh, he's actually lost his front wing. and pulls into the pit lane. Oh, it's actually, he picked up a puncture as well. So that's why I was driving slowly. So he must have also hit the wall. And he's gonna have a lengthy pit stop here. New soft tires. And out he goes, but with a 37-second gap to Jeremy Pope in second to last position. So he will really hope for a safety car now to let him catch up to the rest of the field again. Meanwhile at the front, Logan Ron, 0.8 of a second to Nicola Veldsrezi. He still hasn't been able to shake him off out of the DRS 1 second window. And again another fast lap, 130.7. The pace is really out of the front. And Veldsrezi is just holding on, hanging on to that slipstream to keep him in the game here. And he will hope to push Logan Ron into a mistake. And maybe to push him into making a mistake, exceeding the track limits, so that he can also pick up a 3-second penalty to make the equal again. Because I can't see Nicola Veldsrezi putting away by 3 seconds unless Logan Ron makes a mistake. Oh, Logan Ron, he is really trying to break him. He's trying to stretch him just over a second now is the gap. And Nicola Veldsrezi knows how crucial it's going to be to stay inside that 1 second. He has lost DRS now, as Dion Staal also picks up a 3-second time penalty. Of course, it is very easy to exceed the track limits around here. So we'll quickly run you through the order at the moment. Of course, Logan Ron leading from Nicola Veldsrezi. Behind him it's a 4.2 second gap to Alexei Kovanem, who is in a bit of a lonely third place at the moment, in front of Sander Dulis, also in a pretty isolated fourth position. Behind him a 7-second gap to Jesper Lampinen. He is relatively closely followed by Dion Staal as Nicola Veldsrezi pulls off into the pit lane. And he's gonna try to work the undercut on Logan Ron. He has lost that DRS 1 second window now, and he will try to regain that by being on fresher tires. He'll need to actually rejoin without traffic now. A very interesting call that from Nicola Veldsrezi, the first driver to make a scheduled stop in this race. Oh, look at that, trying to push it on the exit. Cold tires, he's gonna have to be careful. He rejoins behind Jesper Lampinen. Now let's hope Lampinen doesn't hold him up. If he's lucky, he'll catch up to him on the DRS straight, but I think he'll catch up sooner, considering the gap is only 0.6 of a second. He does have DRS now, so this isn't too bad. Let's hope he just doesn't lose too much time through the corners. Yellow flags in sector 1, that's a Haas going slowly, and that was Jeremy Pope, who is unfortunately crashed out. I've got a virtual safety car. Now maybe we can see where Jeremy Pope is crashed out if his car is still there once Ivan Brito comes around. He's currently coming up to the corner. Yeah, I think they just cleared him in time. So this virtual safety car now means, of course, that Logan Ron and Alexei Kovanem can get a cheap pit stop here. Oh, that's a really poorly timed virtual safety car for Nicola Veldsrezi, because this completely messes up his undercut attempt. I didn't even think of that. Of course Logan Ron is going to try and capitalize on that, and he has certainly capitalized on it. Look at that. That was a perfectly timed safety car for Logan Ron. Nicola Veldsrezi has managed to get through on Jesper Lampinen now. But the gap is 3.2 seconds. Really poorly timed virtual safety car. Dion Staal closely followed by Alexei Koivuniemen. I mean, That was such a bad timing for Niek van Gelder as Kovenemi goes up the inside of Dion Staal into full position into the final corner. Logan Ron, the luck seems to be on his side so far. He's done everything right. Pole position, the fastest lap at the moment, the lead of the race at the moment, which has been bridged to 3.2 seconds, being able to capitalize on that virtual safety car to cover off that undercut attempt from Niek van Gelder. And he has done everything right so far. Dion Staal still being able to stick with Alexei Koivuniemen, aided by the DRS. And the fact that we only have 8 drivers remaining in this race means that whatever happens, the championship will move on to the next round in Suzuka. Because even if Logan Ron crashes out at this point, he will still score 4 points. Because you still get points for a DNF if there are only 8 drivers remaining. If you DNF inside the points, you still receive the points. I think the only possible way Chance Rando could still win the championship today is if Logan Ron would somehow get himself disqualified. But of course, that is a very, very slim chance. So the championship will move on to the next race in Japan. And like I said before, I think that is best for everyone, including Chance Rando. Niek van Gelder now catching up to the back of Jesper Lampinen in the AlphaTauri, and he will have the DRS now as we come to the start-finish straight for the 12th time. And it's going to be an easy overtake. Oh, the Ferrari there behind, that was Dion Staal. He lost the back and come out of the final corner, and he has damaged his front wing. He is going to pit to repair that, and that's going to hand 5th position over to his teammate Sander Dulis. So Sander Dulis now back up into 5th place. He is still in the running for a top 3 position in the championship, but he will have to beat Alexei Koivuniemen to be within a chance of that. Sam Brand tuning in on the live chat. Reese March returns to SRL and bolts it straight away. That's my guy. Yeah, of course, Sam Brand. He knows Reese March very well. They've been teammates for quite a while. A couple of seasons ago. Even last season, if my memory serves me correctly. So, good to see you tuning in here, Sam. But yeah, it is certainly very unfortunate for Reese March to crash out so early on in his SRL return. But let's hope to see him back more often. So, Logan Ron still leading the way. 3.5 seconds to Niek van Gelder. Alexei Koivuniemen a further 3.5 seconds behind. He is relatively closely followed by Jesper Lampinen, who's actually putting up a pretty strong performance here. Being able to keep up with the Mercedes in front of him. Then 8-second gap to Sander Dulis. Jumrisic doing pretty well in 6th position. He's trailing Sander Dulis by 14 seconds. And behind him, on those fresher tires, of course, after having pitted for a new front wing, is Dion Staal. And Ivan Brito now being lapped by the race leader, still running around in 8th position after that mistake earlier on. Like I said before, he will hope for a safety car to bring him back in his race. But yeah, that virtual safety car, again, nothing against Logan Ron, but from a neutral perspective, it has broken up this race a little bit, because I think if it wasn't for that, Niek van Gelder would have been right up there with Logan Ron, at least after the pit stop phase, and it might have been a fight for the lead of the race. But nonetheless, it doesn't take anything away from Logan Ron, because he hasn't put a foot wrong. And there's no denying that his pace that is put on there in this race has been off the charts. And also, same can be said for Nicola Valsresi. The gap is still staying constant. He's not giving up, is the Italian. And also Alexei Kovalev, I mean, those three drivers at the front, it's a shame that they're so spread out, because their pace is really similar. We'll pick up Jurem Rusic here, because Dion Stau is closing him down, of course, on those fresher medium tires. Because see, Jurem Rusic is on 14 lap old softs. So I don't think he'll be able to stretch it to the end. He is still yet to make another stop. At least I'd be very surprised if he wouldn't. Yeah, he definitely is yet to make a stop, because he actually hasn't pitted yet. Yeah, of course, we're only on lap 15, so this is the set he started on. So we'll have to make another stop. Oh, he runs wide there. That's going to be a track limit warning. And Dion Stau now, right at the back of the number 29 Red Bull. He goes to the inside on the run up towards turn 13 and gets the move done cleanly. Up into 6th position. Oh, Marussi is there with a bit of a slide on the exit up towards the wall. But of course, Marussi being on those much older tires is probably not going to be able to stick with the Ferrari in front of him. But yeah, he has certainly matured himself nice as an SRL driver. This is his 5th season now. He joined on F1 2017 in season 3. And he does actually pull into the pit lane now to change to a set of mediums, presumably. But Jurem Rusic actually in a very decent season this year. He is 9th in the championship, which is far better than his previous seasons. I think so far his best championship position was in season 3 and 4, where he was 18th. I think he was 20th in season 5, and I can't recall where he was in season 6. But this year, inside top 10 in the championship, very consistent. Just collecting those points. And yeah, it's been a very decent season for him. He will also participate in the final round of the GT3 Championship in Zolder. As will, of course, Sam Brandt, who was in the live chat earlier, and Max Mulder, who unfortunately crashed out on the first lap. But they are both fighting it out for the championship. And the championship will be decided on the 21st of May. Come the end of the season in that Continental GT3 Championship. So it will be very interesting to see who's going to wrap up that championship. But of course, in the F1 series, it is looking to go the way of Jens van Rendel, but Logan Ron is trying everything to stop that. Brian Power in live chat as well. Where you see Max spun rounds, you can't do anything about it. Nice one, yeah. Brian Power, of course, the other drivers who have been caught up in that lap 1 incident. I mean, I saw Max Mulder spinning around. His car was sticking in the middle of the circuit, probably horizontally as well. And, well, this track isn't much wider than the length of the car, so for the cars behind him, it was almost inevitable that they were going to run into him. So, yeah, Brian, thanks for tuning in here, and commiserations, obviously, for that lap 1 incident, crashing out so early on, but that's how things go sometimes in racing and sim racing. Unfortunately, wrecks are part of it. And I think every driver or sim racing driver who's done a handful of league races who have been involved in a wreck at some point, or has been having to avoid one, or whatever. I mean, it's part of it. You can't avoid it sometimes, so just have to move on to the next one and reset your mind. There always has to be a next time. So yeah, the field is very spread out at the moment. Just over 7 laps remaining, and no close battles on the track at the moment. And it looks like the race has settled down now, so I think the chance of another safety car is going to be very slim. And it looks like the timing penalties probably won't have an effect on anything as well. Apart from maybe Niek van Gelder, we could possibly lose out on second place if Alexei Kovanemnik gets within 3 seconds of him. But it has been an exhibition for the number 31 American, Logan Iran. And he is showing why he is still in this fight for the Season 7 SRL World Championship. Just flawless. I mean, you can't see him make a mistake anywhere. I mean, to consistently be able to drive at the pace that he's driving at without making mistakes, to basically do qualifying lap after qualifying lap. I mean, it looks so easy, but it is so damn hard to drive this level and to consistently do it as well. And again, same can be said for all the drivers in the top 3 really, because Niek van Gelder and Alexei Kovanemnik have been very, very similarly paced to the American who's leading the race. So they well and truly deserve to be on the podium today. And Alexei Kovanemnik does furthermore secure that top 3 in the championship by this result, if he can hang on to this with 6 laps remaining. And Yannick Verpeten saying that basically the same thing to what Brian explained earlier also happened to him. So again, also to Yannick Verpeten, commiserations, because it is really tough to crash out on the first lap. I think crashing out on the first lap is the worst thing that can possibly happen during a league race. I mean, personally, I've had it as well. I remember in Sochi a couple of seasons ago, I crashed out straight away, like not even before I got to turn 1. And it is such a bad feeling when you crash out straight away in the first lap, because if anything, I actually prefer to crash out on the last lap of a race, even though that is more frustrating because you've already done everything and you just lose it all at the end. I think that's better than crash out on the first lap, because when you crash out on the first lap, it just feels like all of the preparation, all of the practicing, the tuning of the setup, the making the strategy, all of the effort you put into preparing for it has just gone to waste. It just feels like an absolute waste of time preparing for a race, you just immediately crash out, especially if it's by no fault of your own. It can be really tough mentally just to accept that, but like I said before, it is part of racing. But for that reason, I actually, of course it's never nice to crash out, but I prefer to crash out halfway through a race, or at the end of a race, than on the first lap. Even though, in the heat of the moment, crashing out on the last lap of a race would be more frustrating, because you just realize you throw it all away. I think when you've had a night sleep and you look back on it, that is still better than to crash out on the first lap, because at least you've showed your potential. You just haven't received the reward for it. In the form of points. So closest battle on track at the moment. Well, it's not really a battle, because there are still 3 seconds covering them, but it is Jesper Lampinen, who just picks up a 3-second time penalty as I say it, and Sander Dullis, who is about 3.5 seconds behind him. Sander Dullis is on fresher tires, significantly fresher. Jesper Lampinen's tires are twice as old, so Sander Dullis could pick up a 4th position here, especially with the time penalty, because he's only 1/10 away of being inside the DRS window, and he actually is now. So let's see if Sander Dullis can actually catch up to him on track and maybe overtake him for 4th place to secure that position, in case he also picks up a time penalty himself, like his teammate has just done, Dion Staal. And at the pace that Dullis is going right now, it looks like he will catch up. 4 laps to go, and the gap is 2.4 seconds, and he's closing up by quite a significant amount each lap. Racing Champion TV is questioning only 8 left in this race. Yeah, it's quite bizarre, but we've had a lot of retirements today. Not as many as in the previous round in Singapore, where it was an absolute race for attrition and we only had 5 runners left. But today we've had a massive collision on the first lap, which caught up 4 drivers. And we've seen a further 2 crash out of the race in the form of Guillermo Garcia and Jeremy Pope. Ligardi cheering on Manuelito, also known as Nicola Falsreci. Unfortunately, he is not really then a chance of winning this race anymore with that 5-second gap and a 3-second time penalty, as we have this great overhead shot looking at the number 69 Ferrari, Sander Dullis. Where has closed the gap down to Jesper in front of him to 2.3 seconds. You can see both of those in the same shot now as we look over the water and the neon lights there. Great shot. That overhead shot of this Jeddah Street circuit. And respect as well for Ivan Brito for grinding through this race. He had an incident in the early phase, and he's been running in last place for the majority of this race. Over a minute behind Jurem Rusic. As we see yellow flags. No! Logan Aron! What has happened to Logan Aron? He has crashed out from the lead of the race. What has happened? He's on the left there. He has crashed into the wall. Incredible. And Jurem Rusic is letting Alexei Kovalenko go by. Logan Aron! What has he done? Incredible. Logan Aron has crashed out of the lead of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix with just 3 laps remaining. He had a comfortable lead to Manuelito Nicola Falsreci in 2nd place, and out of nowhere, Nicola Falsreci can win this race, but he has a 3-second time penalty to Alexei Kovalenko. He's only 3.4 seconds behind him. Unbelievable! I'm almost in shock. I can't believe what I've just watched. Nicola Falsreci. You're not gonna have a better chance to win your first race, but that time penalty, he's gonna have to push like crazy now. It's just a virtual 4:10 gap to Alexei Kovalenko. Make that 3. Jesper Lampinen suddenly back into a podium position, but with that 3-second penalty, Sander Dullis can pick up a podium. Unbelievable. Jurem Rusic, he must have made a mistake too. Yeah, he is changing his front wing, but he will still rejoin in front of Ivan Brito. But this is massive for the championship. Logan Ron crashed out of the lead. If Logan Ron would have won that, he had the fastest lap as well. The gap would have been 30 points separated him and Jens Renner with 2 rounds to go. He could have kept the championship alive, but now surely Jens Renner will win the championship this season. Of course, he won't win it today, but the gap is going to be almost too large for Logan Ron to overcome that in 2 races. I mean, Logan Ron, now the only chance for him to win this championship is Jensen Rendell crashes out of the final 2 races, and if he wins it, which is very unlikely. Because Logan and Ron will only pick up 5 points. So the gap is gonna be 51 points. So yeah, the only way Logan Ron can still win his championship is if he scores maximum points and if Jensen Rendell doesn't score any. And here we can see Manuelito, aka Nicola Falzaresi, still virtually 5 tenths in front of Alexei Kovenemi. And he will surely win his first SRL F1 Grand Prix. I'm still almost like processing what just happened. I still can't believe Logan was crashed out. I feel really sorry for him because he has done everything right. I think I might have cursed him. That might have been the commentator's curse. I maybe shouldn't have said so many things about Logan Ron, but my commiserations to him. Nicola Falzaresi, we thought it was over. It wasn't. It never is until the checkered flag drops. Turn 27 for the final time for the Italian. The number 12 coming out of the final corner now. And he's gonna win his maiden SRL F1 Grand Prix. The checkered flag beckons for the Italian teenager as he crosses the line and wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in SRL. Alexei Kovenemi will pick up 2nd place, just 8 tenths behind the Italian, and Jesper Lampinen will pick up 4th position because Sander Dulis has closed in on him. So that means that Sander Dulis will pick up the final podium position despite Jesper Lampinen crossing the line in 3rd position. Dion Staal with a solid 5th place. And Jurgen Brusic running in 6th in front of Ivan Brito. But what a performance we have seen from our race winner today, Nicola Falzaresi. And he has certainly proven that whatever happens, you should never give up. What a way to win your first SRL race. Incredible performance from the Italian. We thought it was over after that virtual safety car, which ruined his undercut attempt. But it wasn't. Nicola Falzaresi, your race winner of the inaugural Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in SRL. Driver of the day goes to Jurgen Brusic, getting a decent couple of points. But man, the race just seemed to have settled down. It seemed like nothing was happening. And out of nowhere, Logan Ron made a rare mistake and actually crashed out and ended his race, gifting the lead to Nicola Falzaresi, who will hang on to clinch his maiden victory. So these are your official results The results: Nicola Falzaresi, first position, 8 tenths in front of Alexei Kovenemi and Sandro Dulis, completing the podium. In front of Jesper Lampinen, Dion Staal, Jure Marisic, Ivan Brito, and Logan Ron, who is still actually registered 3 laps down, but of course he did crash out. And we can maybe arrange a couple of post-race interviews. And he was tuning in on the live chat. What did we just do? I'm sure that he is still also in disbelief, just like I am. But we will invite Nicola Falzaresi to the booth here to talk us through his race. But congratulations to him. But what an amazing, just unbelievable end we've seen here to this inaugural Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I won't screw my promise. Yeah, feel free to do so, because I can totally imagine if you would. I wouldn't mind. I was just discussing a couple of things, so apologies for the silence. Sandro Dulis was mentioning Jens Randall in the live chat, but of course it is still a 51-point gap between Jensen Randall and Logan Ron, so that means that Jensen Randall hasn't won the championship just yet. Jensen Randall has 1 hand and 4 fingers on it, but he still hasn't won it. So yeah, apologies for the silence here, but I was doing a couple of things at the same time. Anyway, we'll quickly invite Nicola Falzaresi to the party here. I may also invite Alexei Kovenemi and Sandro Dulis if they want to talk, but I'll start off with Nicola Falzaresi. And then we can talk to our new winner in SRL. So apologies for the blue screen here. So Nicolo has been invited, and we'll see when he'll join. So we can get our thoughts of the race winner today and see how he experienced this race. And we do have Nicola Falzaresi in the party here. Hi Nicola, first of all, congratulations. You've just won the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in SRL. What a way to win your first race in SRL in the F1 Championship. Just talk us through your race, how you experienced everything, and what went through your mind when you saw Logan Ron crash out in front of you towards the end of the race.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you from the bottom of my heart to Sandro, to you, to everyone in SRL, because this is a dream coming true. I wanted to be an esports driver, and I wanted to be successful. Today I was, so I'm super happy. And yeah, my race was just perfect. I mean, I didn't did a single mistake. Didn't do a single mistake, and I was consistent all race long, which is not common. We saw a lot of crashes, a lot of safety cars, virtual safety cars, and it was a little bit drive to survive race, survive to drive race.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm still moving like a leaf. I'm super happy, and I wanted this post-race interview to maybe give a message to my friends in Italian, and if I can do that now.
Of course, go ahead.
Yeah. Ragazzi, è stata una gara veramente difficile e soprattutto stressante dal punto di vista fisico, perché ho spinto veramente dal primo al 25esimo giro. È stato difficile, ma mi sono divertito. Siamo andati bene, la strategia era buona. Ho provato anche un undercut su Logan, che però non è riuscito, però sappiamo quello che è successo, lui si è schiantato. E purtroppo queste sono le gare, ecco, non ci possiamo fare niente. Lui è stato veloce, è stato più veloce di me, e di questo bisogna dargliene atto. È stato bravo, però purtroppo si è schiantato, succede. Ok, I did.
Well, thank you very much, Nicolo. Again, massive congratulations, because this was such a special way as well to me, your first race, because I don't think you would have been expecting it. Of course, we saw that you were really quick all weekend, and I think during the first part of the race, you were able to keep up with Logan Ron, who was putting up an amazing pace. I mean, the pace was really hot at the front. Even Alexei Kovanen, he couldn't stick with you. And you were just hanging on in at the rest, and then, of course, you just fell back to outside of a second, and I think you then pitted to try and perfect the undercut to get the run again on Logan Ron and get within inside that DRS 1 second window. But then, of course, during that outlap, the virtual safety car got deployed for a crash further back, so your undercut attempt was ruined by that, and then the gap was like 3 seconds, and for the entire race, like, you were so similarly paced to Logan Ron, you were just, you know, the gap pretty much stayed the same for the entire race after that, and it looked like the chance was over because Logan Ron just didn't make a mistake, and then he suddenly just made the biggest mistake and just crashed into the wall and suddenly gave you the lead. But of course you did have that 3-second penalty, so it was still, I imagine, pretty intense on those final few laps, trying to keep that gap to Alexei Kovanen behind you to over 3 seconds, of course.
That was intense. And you know, I tried to overtake Logan, around the outside didn't work, down the inside didn't work, and then I was like, what am I gonna do? But then, you know, he was faster than me, and we didn't go exactly the same. He was a little bit faster, but I'm still happy. I mean, he was unlucky, but this is racing. Now I have to salute you. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you, man, and same goes for me. It's been a pleasure to talk to you after this race, and again, well done, and you know, respect for what you've showed today and the pace you've put on. I mean, it's a well-deserved victory, and yeah, all the best as well for the remaining 2 rounds of this season. I think you've won the Italian F2 Championship as well.
Yeah, it's true.
So you've you've become an SRL F1 race winner. You're a former Italian F2 champion. I think that's not too bad on your CV. So again, massive congratulations. And yeah, thanks for talking to me and talking us, also the viewers, through your race and how you experienced all of that. And yeah, wish you all the best for the rest of the season and for next season as well, of course. And again, thanks for talking to us. I'll try to get Alexei Kovanen and Sandro up here as well, so we can maybe get their thoughts as well on this race. And yeah, again, massive congratulations to Nicolo Falzaresi, your race winner today. So let's see if we can invite Alexei Koivuniemen here, who finished in second place. So again, apologies for the blue screen. It looks like Alexei is not online anymore. At least I can't see him in my friends list. But I'll quickly type in his name to see if I can invite him. So I've invited Alexei and Sandro. We'll see if they'll join. To also hear their perspectives of today's race. And also Max Mulder is saying that Jurem Rusic has requested his interview. Of course he didn't finish on the podium, but I guess I can also invite him. Always nice to have an inside perspective on a race. And we've got Sandro Dulis joining the booth here now. Of course, picking up another podium this season in third position, finishing ahead of Jesper Lampion, who picked up the time penalty. I think a pretty unexpected podium, wasn't it? With Logan Ron crashing out so late on in the race. So talk us through your race and how it went from your perspective.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. Yeah, I'm definitely happy with the podium, of course. Always something you'd like to achieve is a podium finish. And I think today it was more unexpected than usually. Because I felt like I was lacking a little bit of pace. Qualifying wasn't great, but the top four were just in a different league. Obviously, I dodged that crash of Max on the first lap, which was definitely vital to my race. From that on, it was basically a straightforward race. I did not battle anyone. I was just trying to stay away from possible penalties in case a safety comes out towards the end of the race. And I was catching up to Jesper, who was on strategy from the first lap when he had to pit for damage, I think. And Jesper, a decent pace. I was really surprised by that. But he had 6 seconds worth of time penalty, so I was keeping it even.
I think your mic has broken up a little bit. So I can't hear you at the moment.
Am I back?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, now, where did I... What did you miss?
The last 5 seconds or so.
Okay, so when the message popped out that Logan retired, first of all, I was just shocked because I did not expect that. With 3 laps to go, he was leading the race comfortably, and obviously it's always a shame if a lap car in front of you spins and you get collected. That's just, I mean, tough break there for Logan. I feel really bad for him, but obviously that's racing, and still happy with the podium to pick up the pieces and score my, I think, 7th podium of the season, which is, I mean, I couldn't be happier with that.
Yeah, that's really solid, indeed. I mean, 7 podiums, that's, I think, even more than I had in my championship winning season. So, that's very, very consistent. And do you actually know what happened to Logan Ron? Because I only saw his car in the wall, I didn't actually see the incident itself.
Yeah, it was Jurma Marusic, who was a lap down in front of him, went for a spin at the exact same way Max did on the first lap.
Oh, okay.
And he came back onto the racing line, and Logan basically had nowhere to go.
Oh, so, that is so unfortunate. Because I really thought he made a mistake. I didn't actually know that Jure basically caused it by spinning in front of him.
Yeah, you probably just saw the message, so...
Yeah, and then I went on board with Alexei, so I saw his car, but I didn't see how it happened. But yeah, that is cruel for Logan Ron. I mean, he had done everything right. He didn't put a foot wrong in that race, and he had, pole position the fast lap. He was looking to win it, and the gap in the championship would have been down to 30 points if he would have been able to finish that. So, yeah, it is really a tough blow also for his championship hopes, which have pretty much gone now.
Yeah.
Unless he scores the maximum points in the next 2 races with chance of random not scoring any. So, Yeah, that must be very, very tough to accept for Logan Ron, but yeah, these things can happen. And of course, you can't really blame Euromishes for it because, every driver can make a mistake, like we saw on lap 1, and it's just very easy around here to, well, get caught up in something because you also don't really have anywhere to avoid a wreck by going left to right because there's walls on either sides.
Yeah, and especially because there are so many blind corners on this track as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's very difficult to look ahead. So I think usually we would do just the podium interviews only. I can see Max Mulder in live chat requesting an interview for Jure. So I am not sure if that is allowed, but maybe I can invite a couple of other drivers into the booth here while we're having a couple of interviews.
As long as the stream doesn't go on for too much longer, I think that's no problem.
Okay, we'll invite Humorist as well then. Maybe I can invite Logan on too. I'm not sure if he's still online. I can imagine him not being, but alright. So we'll invite Jure in here so he can talk us through what happened, and also so he can maybe explain his side of the incident with Logan Ron. Yeah, it was bizarre. I mean, I think everyone was in disbelief when the message popped up that Logan Ron had crashed out of the session because he looked set to win that race.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, he was really comfortable in the lead there with just managing to not get any penalties.
Yeah, and we do have Jure Musjes here in the booth now, so Jure, of course, very unfortunate that you had that incident with Logan Ron. But just talk us through your race and how you experienced it, and also what happened there when you spun around and got collected by the race leader.
Yeah, I have never felt this bad in a league race before.
Oh yeah.
I was literally in shock for like 2-3 minutes. I just can't believe this happened. I'm so mad at myself because it was my first spin in the entire race. I've not done anything bad, and I just make one mistake and then I just ruin his race.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking painful. I'm so mad at myself.
Yeah, it is really unfortunate that it just happened to be Logan Ron behind you, but of course with this circuit it's quite a blind track, so it is easy for these things to happen. We also saw it on lap 1 with that massive wreck caused by Max Mulder, and it's good to have to see that you have some self-reflection, but of course you can't blame yourself too much because it was just a mistake which everyone could have made, and it was just unfortunate that the situation was in a way that Logan Ron was coming up behind you, and of course it does have massive implications for the championship because Logan Ron looks set to win that race and keep the championship hopes alive, and he is still just about hanging on to the hope of winning the championship, but of course the gap is going to be over 50 points now with 2 races remaining, so there's a very slim chance for him now, but these things can happen, and with this track as well, with the walls being so close on either sides, it's very difficult to avoid a car that is stricken in the middle of the circuit, so these things can happen. It's part of racing, and I don't think you should feel too bad about yourself because it's just something that could have happened to everyone.
Yeah, I know. I think I wouldn't have felt this bad if the championship wasn't on the line, or if he was P1. But it's just stupid.
Well, yeah, it was I think a moment of disbelief for everyone, like myself commentating. I think everyone in the race seeing that Logan Ron had crashed out. I initially actually thought he made a mistake himself. I didn't catch it actually crash into you. So I thought I'd given him the commentator's curse because I kept saying how he didn't make any mistakes, and then before I knew it he was out. But of course one man's loss is another man's gain, with Nicolo Feltz-Racy picking up his maiden SRL victory, so you have made somebody very, very happy. So if that makes you feel any better. But thanks for explaining your point of view from the race and from the incident. And I think the gap would have been 30 points had Logan Ron won that race. So still, the championship wouldn't have been blown wide open. It just would have kept him in within a chance. But Jensen Randall will probably be back for the next 2 races, so the chance would have still been very slim for Logan Ron to still win a championship. But yeah, it is never over until the checkered flag in the championship, and also in a race like we saw today, because I think everyone was expecting Logan Ron to win that race. But anyway, these things happen, and it's part of racing and sim racing. But thanks for giving your point of view, and thanks for being up here in the booth.
Yeah, no problem.
And good luck as well for the remaining 2 races of this championship. And also, yeah, unfortunate that both of the Red Bulls crashed out. Of course, the first one being Reesmart all the way on lap 1 on his SRL return.
Yeah.
But hopefully I'll be back alongside you again for the next 2 races in the Red Bull Garage.
Yeah, I hope so too, yeah.
Hopefully we can finish off the season well.
Yeah, well, bye-bye.
See you, man. So then, that has been it for round 20 of the SRL Season 7 Championship. This has been the inaugural race at the Jeddah Street Circuit, and we've seen Nicola Valtraisi clinch his maiden SRL victory and break his duck, which is, well, it came at the cost of Logan Ron, but like we've said many times before, it's part of it, it happens, and yeah, massive congratulations again to Nicola Valtraisi for winning his very first SRL F1 race. So I've been Niek van Gelder. Thanks for all the drivers coming up here to talk us through it and for giving their interviews. And next round is going to be the Japanese Grand Prix in Suzuka for the penultimate race, and then we'll finish off the season after that in Brazil, in Interlagos, like every season. So we're closing in on the end of the season. The championship still hasn't been decided yet, but it's looking to go the way of Jensen Randall, looking to become the first double world champion in SRL. Check us out on Instagram as well, SRL_F1, and you can check out our website as well, which is in the description. So thanks everybody for watching and tuning into this race, and we'll see you for the next round, for round 21 at the Suzuka circuit. So enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch you next time.